The cold darkness of space stretched endlessly before the USS Liberty. Its metal hull reflected the distant glow of distant stars. Captain Daniel Carter stood on the bridge, looking out through the wide observation window. The crew moved quietly around him, each one focused on their duties. The ship was small, far smaller than the massive warships of the Galactic Empire, but it carried something more important: human courage, creativity, and determination. "Captain, sensors are picking up a fleet ahead," said Mia Thompson, the tactical officer, her eyes scanning the blinking console in front of her. Her fingers danced over the controls as data poured in from the long-range scanners. "It's large, much larger than anything we've seen in this sector." Daniel's jaw tightened. "How many ships?" he asked. "Too many to count quickly," Mia replied. "They're heavily armed and they're moving toward us in formation. Their pattern matches the elite Imperial fleet we've read about, the Crimson Vanguards." Daniel exhaled slowly. The name alone was enough to make most crews shake with fear. The Crimson Vanguards were the pride of the Galactic Empire, ships built for war, controlled by advanced AI, and commanded by officers who were trained to see humans as weak and unpredictable. Most fleets that faced them never returned. Ethan Price, the ship's engineer, looked up from his console. "Captain, we're faster than their destroyers, but they have more firepower. If they detect us fully, it's going to be bad." Daniel nodded. "I know, but this is our chance. If we let them control this sector, more systems will fall. Humanity can't just hide anymore. We have to act." Mia glanced at him. "You really think one ship can take on the Crimson Vanguards?" Daniel smiled faintly. "Not by firepower, by being human." The crew exchanged looks. They knew exactly what he meant. Humans were small, yes, but they were clever. They could adapt, improvise, and make decisions that no AI could predict. They could survive impossible odds because they didn't always follow the rules. Lily Grant, the communications officer, spoke up. "Captain, I'm picking up their comms. They're scanning us. I don't think they've identified us fully yet." Daniel studied the approaching fleet. Hundreds of massive ships, each bristling with weapons and shields, moved in perfect formation. Their red hulls glinted coldly in the distant starlight. Even from this distance, their power was overwhelming. Aaron Clark, the weapons specialist, clenched his fists. "They'll open fire as soon as they know we're here. We don't stand a chance in a straight fight." "Then we won't fight straight," Daniel said. "We fight smart. We fight like humans." Sophie Bell, the science officer, looked up from her station. "Captain, the asteroid field near the planet ahead could give us cover. If we use it right, we can get closer without being detected fully." Daniel nodded. "Good. Prepare a course through the field. Mia, plot a path that keeps us between their scanners and the Liberty. Ethan, make sure the engines can handle sudden bursts. Aaron, check the weapons. We'll need everything ready if they spot us." The crew moved quickly. Every officer knew their role and performed it with precision. Despite the fear, there was a quiet excitement on the bridge. Humans loved challenges. They thrived when the odds were against them. As Liberty moved toward the asteroid field, the massive enemy fleet became clearer. Hundreds of ships, each one capable of destroying dozens of human vessels, moved like a living organism. The Crimson Vanguards were confident. They had faced countless enemies before and crushed them all, and now they were about to face a single human ship. "Captain, sensors indicate they're forming attack patterns," Mia said. "They've probably spotted us partially. They're analyzing our speed and size." Daniel leaned forward. "Good, let them analyze, let them think they understand us. Then we'll do something they never expect." The Liberty slipped between the asteroids, moving like a shadow among the rocks. The massive fleet tried to track it, their sensors bouncing off the moving rocks. Liberty's small size and Daniel's careful navigation made it nearly invisible. The crew held their breath as each ship passed close to a tumbling asteroid, engines roaring, weapons primed. Lily's fingers flew over the console. "Captain, I'm sending false signals to their sensors. They'll see multiple targets where there's only one of us." Daniel smiled. "Perfect. That should keep them guessing." Even as the Liberty advanced, Daniel couldn't ignore the danger. If a single Imperial ship found them in the open, they could fire before Liberty had a chance to react. Every second was precious. Every maneuver mattered. The crew worked like a single organism. Ethan boosted the engines, giving them sudden bursts of speed that threw off enemy targeting. Mia calculated evasive maneuvers, weaving the ship through tight passages between asteroids. Aaron checked weapons. making sure every cannon and missile launcher was ready. Sophie monitored energy flows, ensuring the ship could handle sudden overloads. Lily sent messages that tricked the enemy AI into firing at phantom targets. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. The Liberty moved closer to the center of the fleet's formation. Daniel felt a surge of pride. His crew was performing better than anyone could have imagined. They were humans, they were unpredictable, they were clever, and that made them dangerous. "Captain," Mia said, her voice tight, "we're close enough to launch a first strike. We can take out their forward sensors and communication hub. That would blind part of their fleet temporarily." Daniel nodded. "Do it, but remember we are not just attacking, we are sending a message. Humans are not weak, humans are not predictable. Let them learn that the hard way." Aaron fired the plasma disruptor. The energy beam shot out, slicing through the void and striking the lead destroyer. There was a flash, then a massive explosion. Another destroyer nearby was damaged by the shockwave. The enemy AI hesitated, recalculating. For a moment, the Crimson Vanguards did not know how to respond. "Nice shot, Aaron," Daniel said. "Keep it up, keep them guessing." The battle was only beginning. Liberty was still just one ship against hundreds. But the crew knew something important. Humans were dangerous because they did not always play by the rules. They could improvise, they could take risks, they could survive where machines could not. Daniel watched the fleet carefully. Each ship that fired and missed added to the confusion. The Imperial officers, confident and arrogant, began to doubt their calculations. How could a single human ship move so unpredictably? How could it survive when it should have been destroyed? Mia's fingers flew over the tactical panel. "Captain, their flagship is monitoring us. If we can get a hit on it, we can cripple their command." Daniel's eyes narrowed. "Then that's our goal, but we move carefully, one step at a time. We survive first, then we strike." Sophie leaned toward Daniel. "Captain, I've analyzed their shield patterns. If we time it just right, we can strike a critical weak point in the flagship's defenses." Daniel nodded. "Good work. This is exactly why humans never give up, because we think differently. We notice things machines don't. We take chances that others won't, and that is why we survive." The Liberty continued to move through the fleet, weaving among asteroids, dodging incoming fire, sending out decoys, and striking whenever the opportunity appeared. Each small victory gave the crew confidence. Each narrow escape reinforced the lesson that humans were not to be underestimated. Hours later, Daniel stood on the bridge, watching the stars and the enemy fleet. His crew moved quietly, performing their duties with calm precision. Despite the fear, there was excitement, there was pride, there was determination. "Captain," Lily said, "they're trying to adjust their formation. They've realized we're here. They'll attack in force soon." Daniel looked at her calmly. "Let them. They think they know us. They think one ship cannot challenge them. They will learn the truth soon enough." For the first time since the mission began, a faint smile crossed Daniel's face. The battle ahead would be dangerous. The odds were impossible, but humans had survived impossible odds before. And as long as he had his crew, Daniel knew they could do it again. The Liberty moved deeper into the fleet. The stars reflected off the hull, the plasma engines glowed faintly, and the small ship that should have been nothing stood ready to face the might of the Galactic Empire. One ship, one crew, one human captain, and the galaxy was about to learn that even a lone human vessel could change the course of history. The USS Liberty glided silently through the asteroid field, its small hull almost invisible against the rocks. The massive fleet of the Galactic Empire spread across the darkness, hundreds of ships bristling with weapons and shields. The Crimson Vanguards had noticed the Liberty, and now they were preparing to strike. Captain Daniel Carter stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the screens. His crew was tense but ready. Each one of them knew that one wrong move could destroy the ship. Yet, despite the danger, there was no fear that could stop them. Humans were built for challenges, and they thrived in impossible situations. Mia Thompson, the tactical officer, spoke first. "Captain, they're opening fire. Forward batteries are locking on. They expect us to panic and run." Daniel's voice was calm. "Then we won't run. We'll show them what humans can do when they think we are weak." Aaron Clark, the weapons specialist, adjusted the plasma disruptor. "I've got the forward guns ready. Just say the word." Daniel nodded. "Fire when I say. Wait for the right moment. Timing is everything." Ethan Price, the engineer, tapped on the engine panel. Captain, engines are running at full power. We can make sudden bursts to dodge their fire, but it will strain the system. Daniel smiled faintly. Do it. Strain is temporary, survival is permanent. Lily Grant, the communications officer, transmitted false signals into the enemy sensors. I'm sending multiple decoys. They'll think we're a fleet instead of one small ship. Sophie Bell, the science officer, monitored the energy levels. Shields are holding, but their attacks are strong. If we take direct hits, Liberty could be damaged. Daniel took a deep breath. Then we make them hit nothing but empty space. The first salvo of enemy fire streaked through the darkness. Massive beams of energy ripped past asteroids, missing the Liberty by mere meters. The ship shuddered slightly as small fragments of space debris were blown away by the explosions. Evasive maneuvers now, Daniel shouted. Mia adjusted the ship's trajectory, weaving through the asteroid field with incredible precision. The Liberty darted left, then right, banking behind rocks, making the enemy shots fly past harmlessly. Aaron fired the plasma disruptor. A glowing blue beam cut through space, striking the lead destroyer. The ship shuddered as the disruptor hit its shield, causing a chain reaction that damaged nearby weapons. Good hit, Aaron, Daniel said. Keep going, keep them guessing. The Imperial fleet was momentarily confused. They had expected an easy target, a small human ship that they could destroy without effort. Instead, the Liberty moved unpredictably, striking and disappearing, using the asteroid field as cover. Captain, sensors indicate their flagship is analyzing us, Mia said. They're adjusting their formation. They might try to trap us. Daniel's eyes narrowed. Then we'll make them regret it. Ethan, prepare engine boosts. We might need to outrun their trap. Ethan tapped on the controls, sending sudden bursts of energy through the engines. The Liberty shot forward, slipping past the enemy's initial attempts to surround them. Every movement was precise, calculated, and dangerous. The crew was tense, but their confidence grew with every maneuver. Sophie leaned toward Daniel. Captain, their shields on the lead ship are weaker at certain points. If we hit the right spot, we could disable some of their weapons temporarily. Daniel nodded. That's our chance. Aaron, get ready. Mia, calculate the angle. Lily, make sure their AI doesn't see us coming. The Liberty moved closer to the flagship, weaving between asteroids and enemy ships. Its small size was an advantage. While the massive Imperial fleet could fire hundreds of shots, very few could actually hit a moving target in such a narrow path. Fire now, Daniel shouted. Aaron pressed the trigger. The plasma disruptor shot forward, striking the weak points Sophie had identified. There was a flash of blue light as the flagship's weapon systems faltered. Nearby ships were affected by the ripple, leaving gaps in their defenses. Direct hit! That's amazing! Mia exclaimed. The enemy AI tried to correct, but the Liberty was already gone, slipping into the shadows of another asteroid. Every time the Imperial fleet thought they had a chance, the Liberty was somewhere else, ready to strike again. Daniel looked at his crew. They think one human can't fight hundreds. Let's prove them wrong. Minutes turned into hours. The Liberty moved through the fleet, striking, dodging, and confusing the enemy. Aaron fired plasma disruptors with perfect timing. Ethan kept the engines at maximum efficiency, even as the ship shuddered under strain. Mia calculated maneuvers that seemed impossible, weaving the ship through narrow gaps. Lily continued to send false signals, while Sophie monitored energy levels, making sure the ship could survive the strain. The Imperial fleet started to panic. Their AI systems could not predict the Liberty's movements. Every attack failed. Every attempt to trap the ship ended in wasted energy, and each failure made the humans bolder. Captain, we have an opening, Mia said. The lead destroyer is exposed. We can hit it and cause a chain reaction. Daniel studied the target. Then we take it. Aaron, fire carefully. We want maximum effect, minimum risk. Aaron nodded. He aimed and fired. The beam struck the destroyer, tearing through its shields and hull. Explosions rippled outward, hitting other ships nearby. A chain reaction of destruction spread through the enemy formation. The Liberty moved quickly, taking advantage of the chaos. The Imperial fleet tried to regroup, but confusion reigned. They had never seen humans fight like this. They were strong, yes, but their predictability made them vulnerable to clever and daring attacks. Captain, they're sending reinforcements, Sophie warned. 2 new squadrons are coming from behind. They could flank us. Daniel didn't hesitate. Then we prepare for the flank. Ethan, boost engines again. Mia, prepare sharp maneuvers. Aaron, get ready for another strike. Lily, keep sending decoys. Sophie, monitor all energy systems. This is it. The Liberty spun through the battlefield like a phantom. Enemy beams chased it, but the crew anticipated every move. The ship darted left and right, slipping through narrow gaps, turning what seemed like impossible odds into an advantage. Aaron fired again, striking one of the incoming squadrons. Two enemy ships exploded, leaving the rest unsure where the attack had come from. The humans' unpredictability was working. "Captain, the flagship is preparing a counterattack," Mia said. "They're targeting us with concentrated fire." Daniel clenched his fists. "Then we give them a reason to hesitate. We don't just dodge, we fight back." The Liberty moved directly into the line of fire, weaving between asteroids. Aaron fired plasma disruptors at precise angles, striking weapons systems of multiple ships. The flagship's concentrated attack missed as the Liberty shifted its course in the final moment. "Unbelievable," Ethan muttered. "How are we still alive?" Daniel smiled. "Because humans are dangerous when the odds are impossible, because we think differently, and because we never give up." Sophie monitored the ship. "Energy levels are dropping fast." "We can't sustain this for much longer," Daniel nodded. "Then we make every shot count. Every movement matters. Remember, humans survive because we take risks others won't." The Liberty launched another surprise attack. Using the asteroids for cover, it slipped behind enemy ships and struck their communication hub. Beams tore through circuits, leaving several ships isolated from the flagship. Confusion spread. "Captain, they're losing coordination," Mia said, eyes wide. "We can take advantage of this," Daniel gave the order. "All weapons ready. Focus on disabling their forward command. We keep moving. We keep striking. Every second counts." The Liberty darted between explosions and debris, dodging fire and striking vulnerable targets. Aaron's aim was perfect. Ethan kept the engines working at maximum output. Mia's maneuvers were flawless. Lily's decoys kept the enemy guessing. Sophie's monitoring ensured the ship survived every overload. Even as more Imperial ships arrived, the Liberty stayed ahead of them. The massive fleet could not predict the movements of a single, clever human vessel. Each attack was calculated. Each dodge was precise. The humans had turned the odds in their favor. Hours passed, though the crew lost all sense of time. The Liberty was battered, small fires burned in the engineering bay, and shields were strained to their limit. But the ship survived. The crew survived. And every victory, no matter how small, reminded them why humans were not to be underestimated. Daniel stood on the bridge looking at the chaos around him. The enemy fleet was large, but its coordination was failing. The Liberty had shown them something they had never seen before, a human crew that could survive impossible odds, strike at the perfect moment, and disappear before retaliation could arrive. "Captain," Mia said, "we've done more damage than I thought possible." "They don't know what to do next," Daniel nodded. "Good, that's exactly what we want. We're not done yet, but we've shown them that humans are dangerous. We've shown them that one ship, one crew can fight an entire fleet. That's the first step." The Liberty moved through the darkness, a small ship in a massive battlefield, yet unstoppable because of the courage and skill of the humans on board. The Crimson Vanguards had underestimated them, and that mistake could cost the Empire everything. Daniel looked at his crew and smiled faintly. "Rest a little. We can't stop, not yet. But remember, every move we make, every risk we take is proof that humans never give up. And that is how we win." The battle had begun. The Liberty had survived the first wave. And the galaxy was about to see why humans were feared, not for their strength, but for their mind, their courage, and their unwillingness to surrender. The Liberty drifted silently among the scattered remnants of the destroyed enemy ships. Smoke and debris floated in the darkness, drifting slowly past the small human vessel. Captain Daniel Carter stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the chaos ahead. The crew had survived countless attacks, and now they had a chance to strike a decisive blow. "Captain," Mia Thompson said, her fingers flying over the controls, "we've caused serious damage to the fleet, but the flagship is still active. It's coordinating what's left of the forces. If we want to end this, we have to strike it directly." Daniel nodded. "Then that's our goal. We don't just hit their ships, we hit the heart of the fleet." Ethan Price, the engineer, frowned. "Captain, the flagship is massive. We can't go in with full engines without being detected. It will notice us immediately." Then we won't use full engines, Daniel said calmly. We'll move slow, use the shadows, and strike where they least expect it. That's the advantage humans have. We're not machines. We can think, adapt, and take risks. Sophie Bell, the science officer, studied the sensors. There's an asteroid cluster near the flagship. If we use it, we can approach from an angle their sensors can't cover. But it's risky. The gaps are narrow, and one wrong move could destroy us. Daniel's eyes hardened. That's exactly why we do it. Humans survive by taking risks others won't. We don't play safe, we play smart. Aaron Clark, the weapons officer, checked the plasma disruptor and missile systems. Weapons ready. If we get close, we can hit weak points in the hull and shields. We can cripple the flagship before it fires. Lily Grant, the communications officer, sent false signals through the enemy network. I'm sending decoys again. They'll think we're approaching from multiple angles. The flagship might focus on the wrong side. Daniel nodded. Good. Mia, plot the course through the asteroids. Ethan, engines ready for quick bursts. Aaron, weapons on standby. Sophie, monitor all energy levels. Let's do this. The Liberty moved slowly, weaving through the asteroid field. Shadows from massive rocks hid it from the flagship's sensors. The crew held their breath as they passed narrow gaps. A small mistake could crush the ship against a rock or leave it exposed to enemy fire. Keep steady, Daniel said. Every movement counts. One misstep and it's over. Minutes felt like hours. The Liberty inched closer to the flagship. Finally, they were in range. Sophie identified the weak points in the shield system. Here, she said, pointing at the screen. If we strike here and here, we can disable part of their defenses for a short window. It's our only chance. Daniel studied the data. Then we hit it perfectly. Aaron, fire at my mark. Mia, align the ship. Lily, make sure the flagship's sensors are confused. Ethan, be ready for engine boosts if we need to dodge counterattacks. The crew moved in perfect synchrony. Humans worked as one, thinking, adapting, and reacting faster than any machine could predict. Now, Daniel shouted. Aaron fired the plasma disruptor. The blue beam struck the weak point in the flagship's shields. Sparks and flashes erupted as the shield faltered. Ethan boosted the engines, moving the Liberty to a safer angle. Mia calculated a precise course that allowed the ship to remain hidden while striking. The flagship's AI immediately detected the damage. Red warning lights flashed across its systems. Automated weapons turned to face the Liberty, but it had already moved. Lily's decoys caused confusion. Some weapons fired at phantom targets. Others misfired entirely. Daniel smiled faintly. They think they can outthink us. Let's show them why humans are unpredictable. The Liberty moved closer, slipping between the flagship and a massive asteroid. Aaron fired again, targeting the hull and critical systems. Explosions rippled across the enemy ship, leaving damage in multiple areas. Sophie monitored the ship's energy to ensure they didn't overload the engines or shields. Minutes later, the Liberty was inside the perimeter of the flagship. Automated defenses tried to attack, but Mia's maneuvers kept the ship safe. Ethan boosted engines in short bursts, dodging beams and projectiles. Aaron's precise strikes tore through weapon systems. Lily's decoys continued to confuse the enemy AI. The flagship's crew, relying on machines and calculations, struggled to react. Humans were not predictable. Humans could take risks no computer would allow. And humans, Daniel knew, never gave up. Sophie spoke up. Captain, if we overload their energy core, we can destroy the ship from within. But it's dangerous. If we fail, Liberty will be destroyed too. Daniel's eyes were sharp. Then we make it count. Humans survive by being bold. We survive by acting when others hesitate. Aaron nodded. Weapons ready. This is the final strike. The Liberty moved closer, weaving between defense turrets. Beams shot past, missing by mere meters. Ethan boosted engines again, sending the ship forward in a sudden dash. Aaron fired plasma disruptors at the core conduits. Sparks and fire erupted inside the flagship. Systems began failing one by one. Red lights flashed across the bridge of the Liberty. Sophie monitored energy levels carefully. Shields are down to 30%. Engines are overheating. We can't take another direct hit. Daniel nodded calmly. Then we finish this quickly. Every second counts. Humans are dangerous because we act when others hesitate. Now is the time. Lily continued her work, sending false signals to the flagship's AI. Confused, the enemy systems began firing at their own ships. The fleet started breaking apart, each vessel unsure of what to do. Chaos spread. Aaron fired one final volley at the core. The energy conduits overloaded. Sparks flew, then a massive explosion shook the flagship from the inside. Fire spread rapidly, destroying critical systems. The Liberty moved back, weaving through asteroids as the flagship began to collapse. Daniel exhaled slowly. "We did it! The heart is destroyed!" Mia looked out at the scene. "Captain, the fleet, it's falling apart. The flagship's gone, ships are retreating or destroyed." Daniel smiled faintly. "Humans survive because we think differently. Humans survive because we take risks. And humans survive because we never give up." Ethan leaned back in relief. "I can't believe we did it. One ship against hundreds and we survived." Sophie smiled. "It wasn't just luck. We used strategy, intelligence, and courage. That's why humans are dangerous." Aaron nodded. "I never thought one human vessel could cause this much damage. The Empire underestimated us." Lily looked at the screens. "Messages are coming from remaining ships. They're in panic, they're fleeing, we've won this battle." Daniel stood tall, looking at his crew. "Remember this, we are humans, we survive where others fail, we act when others hesitate, and we win when no one believes we can. That is why the galaxy will never underestimate humanity again." The Liberty moved slowly away from the wreckage of the flagship, battered but intact. Smoke and fire drifted in the distance. The enemy fleet was broken. Hundreds of ships destroyed and the rest fleeing in panic. A single human vessel had achieved the impossible. Mia exhaled. "Captain, we actually did it. We destroyed the flagship. We broke the fleet." Daniel looked out at the stars. "This is just the beginning. Humanity is not done. We will continue to survive. We will continue to fight. And we will continue to show the galaxy what humans are capable of." Sophie nodded. "They won't forget this. The Imperial officers, their AI, the rest of the galaxy, they will all remember. Humans can't be predicted. Humans can't be defeated easily." Aaron clapped Daniel on the shoulder. "Captain, I never imagined one human ship could do this. We've made history today." Daniel smiled. "Not just history, we've sent a message. The galaxy now knows humans are dangerous. One ship, one crew, one chance, and we succeeded. That is the power of humanity." The Liberty drifted silently away from the battle, moving toward open space. The crew looked at each other, exhausted but proud. They had done what no one thought possible. A lone human vessel had destroyed the heart of the Galactic Empire's elite fleet. Daniel turned to his crew. "Get some rest. We have survived this battle, but the war is not over. Remember what we have learned today. Humanity survives because we think differently. Humanity survives because we take risks. Humanity survives because we never give up. And that is how we will continue to win." The Liberty sailed on through the cold darkness of space, a small but unstoppable human ship. Behind it, the Imperial fleet lay broken and defeated. Ahead of it, the stars stretched endlessly, full of new challenges and new battles. And for the first time, the galaxy knew that humans were not to be underestimated. The Liberty drifted through the quiet aftermath of the battle. The vast expanse of space was littered with wreckage, destroyed enemy ships, burning debris, and drifting escape pods. Captain Daniel Carter stood on the bridge, his eyes scanning the remnants of what had once been the Galactic Empire's elite fleet. It was a sight no one had expected. A single human vessel had shattered their forces. "Captain," Mia Thompson said, pointing at the sensors, "the remaining Imperial ships are retreating. They're broken, disorganized, and fleeing in all directions. The fleet is in chaos." Daniel nodded. "Good, let them go. They will carry the story of this battle across the galaxy. Humans are not weak, humans are not predictable, and humans survive where others fail." Ethan Price leaned back, exhaustion written across his face. "I can't believe we actually survived. One ship against hundreds, and we won. It's unbelievable." Aaron Clark checked the weapons systems one last time. "Captain, Liberty took some damage, but nothing critical. We can continue if needed. We're ready for anything." Sophie Bell smiled faintly. "The energy levels are stabilizing. Our shields are functional again. Liberty is ready to move forward. The galaxy doesn't know what it's facing yet." Daniel turned to his crew. "Look at what we've done. One small human ship has taken on the Empire's best. Hundreds of ships, advanced weapons, AI systems, and we survived. We didn't just survive, we won. And that is the strength of humanity." Lily Grant, the communications officer, monitored transmissions from the fleeing Imperial fleet. "Captain, the remaining ships are sending messages. They're warning other fleets, reporting the destruction. They're terrified. Humans are becoming a legend." Daniel allowed himself a small smile. That's exactly what we want, not fear alone, but respect. Humanity will be remembered in every corner of the galaxy now. The Liberty moved carefully through the wreckage field, avoiding floating debris. Fires and explosions glimmered in the distance. Every destroyed ship was a reminder of the impossible odds they had overcome. The crew moved quietly, tired but aware of the significance of their actions. Mia broke the silence. "Captain, we should consider returning to a safe system for repairs. Liberty needs it, and we need rest." Daniel nodded. "Yes, but we move slowly. This is not just about survival, it's about sending a message. Humanity has fought today, and the galaxy has seen it. We must leave carefully so our legend grows, not disappears." The ship sailed through space, leaving the battlefield behind. The Imperial fleet was scattered, its elite forces broken. Other alien species, watching from nearby systems, sent reconnaissance vessels. They approached cautiously, curious about what a single human vessel had accomplished. Daniel looked at the sensors. Every fleet watching now knows something important. Humans are not to be underestimated. One ship, one crew, one chance can destroy even the strongest enemy. That is what they must remember. Sophie leaned over her console. "Captain, I've calculated energy efficiency and shield stability. Liberty can make it back to friendly space safely, even at reduced speed." Daniel's voice was steady. "Good, maintain course, keep sensors on alert." "We don't know if any stragglers are still capable of attacking," Aaron smirked. "After what we just survived, I think we can handle anything." The crew shared a quiet laugh, a small relief after hours of tense battle. Humans had faced impossible odds and come out alive. That alone was extraordinary. That alone was worth celebrating. Lily's eyes scanned the communications network. "Captain, I'm picking up scattered transmissions from the Empire. They're sending messages to their command centers. Reports of the flagship's destruction, the disorganization, they're in panic. Humanity has made its mark." Daniel nodded. "Exactly, let them panic, let them fear, let them respect. Humans survive because we act when others hesitate. Humans win because we think differently. And humans leave a mark because we never give up." Ethan leaned back in the engine room, wiping sweat from his brow. "I've never been on a mission like this. One ship, one crew, and we did what no one thought possible. We actually changed the course of a war." Mia joined him briefly, smiling. "It's more than just survival, Ethan. We proved humans are clever, resourceful, and brave. That's what matters." Daniel stood at the bridge, looking out at the stars. "Every corner of the galaxy will now know our names. They will tell stories of a small human ship, its brave crew, and the battle that shattered the Empire's elite fleet. That is humanity's power." Sophie added softly, "It's more than just weapons and shields. It's courage, intelligence, and determination. That's what the Liberty showed today. That's why we survived." Aaron clenched his fist. "One ship, one crew, and the Empire lost. Who would have thought it?" Daniel smiled faintly. "They didn't believe in us. They never do. That is humanity's advantage. The galaxy underestimates us, and we survive because of it. Remember this lesson. Humanity wins because we adapt. Humanity wins because we think differently. Humanity wins because we never give up." The Liberty moved through the remains of the battlefield, leaving wreckage and chaos behind. Fires glimmered faintly in the distance, drifting in the emptiness of space. The galaxy would remember. Alien fleets, distant planets, and even the remnants of the Galactic Empire itself would carry the tale of the small human vessel that destroyed the elite fleet. Daniel turned to his crew. "We've survived this battle. We've sent a message that humans are dangerous, even when alone. But the war is far from over. Remember what we have learned. Humanity survives because we are clever, brave, and unpredictable. Humanity wins because we never surrender." Mia nodded. "Captain, we should set a course back to friendly space. Liberty deserves repairs, and we deserve rest. But this moment will be remembered forever." Daniel's eyes shone with determination. "Yes, Mia, but the message has been sent. The galaxy knows humans are dangerous. One ship, one crew can change everything. That is the lesson we leave behind." The Liberty sailed through the darkness, its engines glowing faintly in the starlight. Behind it, the Imperial fleet lay broken and defeated. Ahead of it, endless stars awaited, full of new challenges and battles. But for now, the crew of the Liberty had shown the galaxy that humans were not weak. Humans were unstoppable. Humans were legendary. Lily smiled, leaning back in her chair. Captain, do you think the galaxy is ready for us? Daniel chuckled softly. They will never be ready, and that is exactly how we survive, Sophie nodded, and how we win. The crew watched the stars, exhausted but proud. One human ship, its small crew, had done the impossible. They had destroyed the heart of the Galactic Empire's elite fleet. They had proven that humans, even alone, could achieve what others thought was impossible. Daniel stood tall on the bridge. We are humans. We survive. We fight. We win. And the galaxy will never forget the liberty. The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of new battles, new dangers, and new victories. But for this moment, the crew could rest, knowing that humanity had triumphed. A single human vessel had changed the course of history. A small crew had proven that courage, intelligence, and determination could overcome even the greatest force in the galaxy. And the legend of the Liberty would live on forever. The Liberty moved forward into the dark, quiet expanse of space, carrying with it the pride, courage, and hope of all humanity. The galaxy would remember. Lone human vessel destroys the Galactic Empire's elite fleet.